And we suggest that you listen to these twos more than once so that the information is internalized into habit-knit patterns for maximum retention and application. That whatever is imagined repeatedly, vividly, and emotionally will become an individual's reality and substance. Virtual reality becomes reality. Current scientific research has confirmed that whatever you see or experience, real or imagined, consciously or subconsciously, when repeated with intensity and frequency, does affect your behavior and definitely can influence your decisions to buy a product or buy into a lifestyle, healthy or unhealthy. Rehashing negative experiences can cause depression and anxiety. Forecasting gloomy outcomes can lead to self-fulfilling prophecies that promote a vicious cycle of disappointment. Conversely, mentally replaying your successes, however small, will give you confidence to create even more successes when the stakes are even higher. And by pre-playing or rehearsing the best outcome you can imagine, you can set the stage for a world-class performance in whatever you choose to undertake. Your attitudes and beliefs can be likened to software programs governing your daily decisions and actions. Breakthroughs in neuroscience have confirmed that neural pathways in your brain, loaded with interactive electrochemical messages called traffic, can be rewired to create new images of achievement. While I was chairman of psychology for the United States Olympic Committee's Sports Medicine Council, responsible for the mental training of all of our Olympic athletes, we put up a sign at the entrance of the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs, and it consisted of that simple two-word maxim dating back to ancient Greece. Know thyself. That's what this program is all about. Introspection, inspiration, internalization, and realization. If you want to be loved, be lovable. If you want to be respected, be respectable. If you want to be a leader, be a role model worth emulating. Look in the mirror when you ask who ultimately is responsible for your own success and happiness. When he was 2 years old, this adopted child of 2 college professors suddenly and inexplicably stopped growing, and his health started to fail. A team of doctors gave him 6 months to live after they diagnosed him as suffering from a rare disease that inhibits digestion and nutrients in food. Intravenous feedings of vitamins and supplements allowed him to regain his strength, but his growth was permanently stunted. Confined to hospitals for long periods of time until the age of 9, he quietly plotted his revenge on the kids who taunted him and called him Peanut. He recalled many years later that subconsciously, the whole experience made me want to succeed at something athletic. Sometimes his sister Susan went ice skating at the local rink, and he'd go along to watch. And there he stood, a frail, undergrown kid with a feeding tube inserted through his nose and down into his stomach. When he wasn't using it, one end of the tube was taped behind his ear. One day, as he watched his sister whirl around the ice, he turned to his parents and said, "You know, I think I'd like to try ice skating." Talk about 2 adults looking at their life-threatened child with glances that were beyond belief. Well, he tried it and he loved it, and he went at it with a passion. Here was something fun at which he could excel, where height and weight weren't important. During his medical checkup the following year, the doctors were startled to discover that he had actually started growing again. It was too late for him to reach normal size, but neither he nor his family cared. He was recovering and succeeding. He believed in his dream, although he had little else to hang on to. None of the kids taunt him and tease him today. Instead, they all cheer and rush to get his autograph. He has just completed another dazzling performance on the World Professional Ice Skating Tour, with a long string of triple jumps, complicated maneuvers, and athletic moves, capped off with a racing front flip that brought him to a sudden stop inches from the audience. Although he's retired from professional skating, He remains a coach, mentor, and commentator revered by everyone in winter sports. At 5 feet 3 inches and 115 pounds of pure muscle and electrifying energy, former Olympic gold medal figure skating champion Scott Hamilton stands as tall and as proud as any winner. Scott's size didn't limit his faith and reach. Don't let doubts and critics limit yours. This doesn't mean that you'll close almost every sale or get promoted in record time. Scott Hamilton certainly didn't hit every triple axel jump he ever attempted, especially during the initial learning phase. Success in developing any skill requires a basic trust in your ability that should never be allowed to waver. You can stand tall, no matter how small. You can grow personally and professionally to any height or scope that your imagination and persistence can take you. During the past 40 years, I've traveled nearly every week to corporate boardrooms, top athletes' locker rooms, entrepreneurs' meeting rooms, university or high school classrooms, and to the living rooms of families all over the world, observing, counseling, and studying some of the most successful human beings in virtually every field. And my goal has been and remains the same, to gain knowledge and pass it along to you as a game plan in winning for life. Ever since childhood, I've been obsessed by the observation that real success in life has no apparent relationship to a gifted birth or inborn talents or the intelligence quotient. I view the real IQ as meaning the imagination quotient instead of the intelligence IQ. It's the I think I can attitude that really makes the difference. In the previous message, we ask you to think of at least one belief that you have based upon your own first-hand observation. We also ask you to think of at least one belief that you have based upon second-hand knowledge, in other words, something passed on to you by others. We ask you to think about the fact that whatever you believe to be true, there are others who don't agree with your version of the truth. This program is designed to strengthen your positive belief system through enlightenment and real-life examples of individuals who've overcome enormous obstacles to become successful. It also is designed to make you aware that each of us carries time-worn assumptions and prejudices, not necessarily of our own making, that are holding us back. Each of us has a vision, a desire, a longing that represents our soul and our ideal of happiness. That's why dreaming big dreams is so essential to winning for life. By imagining what your future can be, you are, in a very real sense, setting yourself free. But many people are like oak trees planted in flower pots. They never grow to their potential. The very roots of self-esteem are cramped and compressed by their limited view of their environment. Instead of looking to find ways to make their dreams come true, they offer a litany of excuses for why they wouldn't work out in the first place. They sabotage their opportunities for growth and job satisfaction with reasons why they can't be all they could be. Each of us has the potential to make our dreams a reality. But too often when we grow up, we tend to narrow the possibilities. We say, I can't do this, or they won't let me do that. And before we know it, our horizons are about as small as a flower pot. And that's a major limitation to our growth. The result is feeling stifled, cramped, and unfulfilled in our lives. Winners are constantly seeking growth and high performance and incrementally keep raising the bar or moving through these invisible barriers. Chuck Yeager flew the Bell XS-1 rocket-propelled aircraft right through the sound barrier, although the common belief was that the plane would shake apart. Golda Meir broke the invisible barrier and became the first woman prime minister of a major nation, Israel. Roger Bannister did the impossible by breaking through the 4-minute mile barrier. That same feat is being accomplished by high school students today. Sandra Day O'Connor broke through the glass ceiling to become the first woman justice to be appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court. The acquisition of knowledge is a lifelong experience not a collection of facts or skills. In the past, what you learned in school was largely all you needed to learn. You could rely on that knowledge for the rest of your life. With change occurring exponentially, this is no longer true. Hundreds of scientific papers are published daily. Every 30 seconds, some new high-tech company produces yet another breakthrough innovation or application. I was in Dubai for a business meeting recently and was introduced to the flying drone taxi service from the airport. You pay by smartphone or credit card. Dial in the address that you're going to in the GPS onboard computer. You fasten your seatbelt, and the pilotless drone takes you up and over the rush hour traffic to your destination in a few minutes, instead of the normal bumper-to-bumper 1-hour ride. While I realized that drones had many applications, I assumed that, like driverless cars, it would take several years to make flying taxi drones commercially viable. The invisible barriers contained in your attitude and beliefs are quite simply functions of what you see day in and day out. Information can be taken in almost unnoticed. You won't react to it until later, and you still may not be aware of what lies behind your response. You don't need to be watching a computer screen or TV. You can be lying down with your eyes closed, or commuting to work, or walking through a park or at the beach or lake. By seeing within your role in becoming a change master instead of a change victim, you can literally change your life. And that's the power that you have at your command.